complete this topic within 2 days. Okay, so let's start. Bismillah. Okay, strong and weak acids and alkalis. Okay, right now I don't want you to write anything. Okay, you can take a screenshot and I'll share, or I can share. I will share this presentation later on. But right now, just look at the screen and listen to me. Okay, listen carefully. Strong and weak acids and alkalis. We already know about them that strong acids we cannot use strong acids because they are very toxic, they are poisonous, they are used for killing purpose, they are used to cut color, like they are used in bleach used to kill bacteria or microorganisms. So they are really strong, we cannot use them normally, they're not economical to use. And as for the weak acids, we can use them because they are friendly. Some are edible also, and they are present in our in our food. Okay, like fruits or milk or in all these things, weak acids are present. Similarly, like weak alkalis, the strong alkalis are similarly, they are very harsh. Okay, they are very harsh. They cannot burn, but they are harmful. Okay, they can cause irritation on the skin, burning on the skin a little bit. Okay, and irritation. So strong alkalis are also, they are harsh. Okay, and weak alkalis, some of the weak alkalis are present in edible items also, like baking soda. Okay, so in baking soda, a weak alkali is present. So some of the alkalis are, like, we can use them. So they, but what is the difference? But which thing in their formula or in their chemistry, what is the thing which makes them strong or which makes some acids or alkalis weak? Okay, so today we'll discuss that which thing makes them weak or strong. So for to explain this, to explain the difference, I took the example of two containers. Okay, you can see that right now, just leave the alkali part, leave the green part. Okay, the green explanation, leave that one, that is for the alkalis. Just look at the blue and yellow explanation, that is for the acids. Okay, so first see the acids, blue and yellow explanation. So there are two containers of equal size, and in both of them I took equal quantity of water. Okay, like 25 ml, for example. So 25 ml of water in both of them. Okay, same quantity. And in one container I put some molecules of HCl, and in the other container I added some molecules of ethanoic acid. Okay, or acetic acid. So 10 molecules, for example. So 10 molecules of HCl and 10 molecules of CH3COOH, ethanoic acid. Okay, so equal quantity, like 10 molecules of both acids, but different ones. 10 molecules of HCl in one container and 10 molecules of ethanoic in another container. Okay, now we know that when acid enters into the water, or when it gets dissolved into the water, it gets split into its ions. Okay, all the acids contain hydrogen, so hydrogen ion will come out, and the other part which is present along with hydrogen, the other non-metals, they will form a minus sign. Okay, negative sign. So you can see here in yellow at the bottom of this slide, I wrote how they ionize. HCl will ionize and it will give H positive and Cl negative. Okay, H positive and Cl negative. And ethanoic acid, CH3COOH, will split into this hydrogen ion from the end will come out, because we know that it gives, all the acids give hydrogen ions. Okay, so hydrogen ion from the end, hydrogen ion will come out and form H positive, and acid, and as the CH3COO, it will form negative sign. Okay, it's known as acetate ion, or it is also known as ethanoate ion from ethanoic acid. It's written in your book also. Okay, I will show you where it is written. Ethanoate ion. So see, that's how they will split. Okay, and both of them will split. But what happens that in HCl we added 10 molecules, and all 10 molecules will split. All 10 molecules will ionize. Okay, so HCl, if we add 10 molecules, 10 we get 10 H positive ions and 10 Cl negative ions. Okay, all of them will split. And in case of weak acids, if we added 10 molecules of ethanoic acid, only 5 of them will split into their ions. Rest of them will remain in the molecule form. Okay, not all of them will split because it's a weak acid. Okay, so in weak acid, this thing actually happens that not all of the molecules will split, only some or half of the molecules will dissociate into their ions. Okay, and rest of them will remain in their molecule form, they will remain intact. So this is the difference, that in strong ones, all of them will split. Okay, all of the molecules. In weak acids or weak alkalis, only some of them or half of the molecules will split. So if we added 10 molecules, 5 will split. Okay, and now see here the explanation in green. Okay, for the alkalis, also it's the same. Okay, there are two containers. Okay, see the green part. Two containers, equal quantity of water in both of them, and we are adding 10 molecules of NaOH in first one and 10 molecules of ammonium hydroxide in the other one. Okay, and in both of them, the molecules will split into their ions, but we will see, or we will notice that in 10 molecule in NaOH1, all of the 10 molecules will split into their ions, Na positive and OH negative. Okay, and in ammonium hydroxide, yeah, in ammonia solution, only half of them will ionize. So if we are adding 10 molecules, we are getting 5 OH ions. Okay, only 5 OH ions. So NaOH is giving 10 OH ions because all of the molecules will split. So it's giving 10 OH ions, and ammonia solution is giving 5 OH ions. Okay, so in strong alkalis, OH ions are more in number, and in weak alkalis, OH ions are less. Okay, and same in acids. In strong acids, H positive is more. Okay, and in weak acid, H positive is less in number. Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain the concept
Okay.
of the splitting of ions in the acids again?
Sorry, just say it louder.
Can you explain the concept of splitting ions in the acid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In that
Okay.
again?
Yeah. Splitting of ions in this one in HCl1, because for all the acids we know that all the acids contain H positive, and when they split, they give H positive. Okay, so in strong acid HCl, we added HCl in water. It will, as it enters into the water, it will split. Okay, because we studied it also that acids need water. Okay, acid and alkalis, both of them. So when we add them into the water, they will split into their ions. Okay, so HCl will split into H positive and Cl negative, and all of the molecules will split. Okay, so if we add 10 molecules, all 10 will split. If we add 100 molecules, all 100 will split into their ions. All of them will give H positive.
But ma'am, in the next one, in like weak acids, only 5 of them split.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
what is
in all of the weak acids, when we write the formula like this, the acid which is attached with oxygen. Okay, in all of the acids, when we see the weak acids, okay, or the organic acids, in all of them, their formula contains COOH in the end. Okay, for all of them, COOH in the end. So the hydrogen which is present with oxygen, that will come out, it will break from here, between from the middle of O and H. Okay, it will break from here. So H
only in
hydrogen.
the organic
Huh?
acids, right? Ma'am?
Yeah, this is for the organic acids. Yes, the weak acids.
Okay, I understood. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah, so H positive will come out, and the rest of it, you can see it as a tail. Okay, the other part, the tail of it will become negative ion. Okay, and half of them will split, not all of them. So if you are using 10 molecules, 5 will split. If you're using 100 molecules, then 50 will split. Okay, so half of them. So that is why we are getting less H positive here in weak acids. So this is the definition of strong as acids and alkalis, weak acids and alkalis, and this definition is on page 144. Okay, strong acids and strong alkalis are completely ionized in water. Weak acids and weak alkalis are partially dissociated into ions in solution in water. So dissociation or ionization is the same thing. Okay, dissociated also means it ionizes. Okay, dissociated into ions, and partially means half. Okay, so a weak acids and weak alkalis, they will dissociate half. So half of them will ionize and half of them will remain in the solution in the molecule form. Okay, this is for the weak acids and weak alkalis. The strong ones will completely ionize. Okay, so on this page, in the first paragraph, it's only written the use of it. Okay, that the strong acid we cannot use and weak acids we can use. They are present in fruits and drinks or carbonated drinks, etc. And the main thing starts from this paragraph, from the second paragraph. The difference lies, okay, the difference between the strong and weak acids. The difference lies in the ionic nature of acidic solutions, of acid solutions. Okay, the ionic nature. Ionic nature means the extent at which they ionize. More precisely, in the concentration of hydrogen ions in the solution. Okay, what is meant by concentration, boys?
Quantity.
Yeah, amount or quantity. Good. Okay, amount or quantity. So concentration of hydrogen ions. So if it is a strong acid and all of the molecules will ionize, so obviously the concentration of H positive will be more in that solution. Okay, and if it is a weak acid and partially they are ionizing, so the concentration of hydrogen ions will be less. Okay, so you can say that in strong acids the concentration of H positive ions are more, and in weak acids the concentration of H positive ion is less. Okay, and same with alkalis. If it is a strong alkali, then it will completely ionize. All of them will give OH negative, so OH negative will be more. Okay, and if it is a weak alkali, then it will ionize half or partially, then it will give less concentration or less amount of OH negative. Okay, more OH ions, more H positive, strong acid, less H positive, weak acid. Okay, and now you know that why it gives more amount, why which one gives less amount. Okay, organic acids actually they are more strongly covalently bonded. Okay, they have very strong covalent bond in organic acids. Okay, CH3COOH, you can see the identification of the weak acids are that they contain carbon, hydrogen and oxygen as a main component. Okay, you can write it somewhere that the weak acids, how to identify that which acid is strong or which acid is weak. um, you will notice that in weak acids, for the weak acids I told you that they are organic, they are hydrocarbons. So the main components are carbon, hydrogen plus oxygen. Okay, in weak acids, so there is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen as a main component. And in strong acids there is hydrogen present in the starting along with any other non-metal. Okay, so it can be chlorine, it can be sulfur, it can be nitrogen, phosphorus. Okay, any other, it can be boron also, any other non-metal present along with hydrogen, so it is strong acid. And strong acids have a small formula, weak acids have big formulas. Okay, so you can identify them also. Okay, and for the strong alkalis, okay, for the alkalis in the previous slide, I wrote it here that with NaOH, that the alkalis which contain metals from group 1 and group 2, they are mostly considered as strong acids. Okay, like sodium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, so lithium hydroxide. So they are strong acids which contains the metal of group 1 and group 2. And the rest of the metals make weak acids, like transition metals. Okay, transition metals make weak alkalis, sorry. Weak alkalis, transition metals. So in all the alkalis, we know that metals are present. So the metals, if group 1 and group 2 metals are present, then they are strong. Okay, and if any other metal is present, so they are weak. Okay, and ammonia solution is an exception because there is no non-metal in it. Okay, and nitrogen and hydrogen, all of them are non-metals, so it's exception to this rule, it's abnormality. Okay, ammonia solution, and it's a weak acid, a weak alkali. Okay, now after this, in this paragraph, the equations are written that how they ionize. Okay, the first three equations are of strong acids, that HCl gas on dissolving in water, it produces H positive and chloride ion. Okay, H2SO4 On dissolving in water, it produces H positive and HSO4 negative. Okay, because in H2SO4 there are two hydrogens. Okay, you can see there are two hydrogens in H2SO4. So one of the hydrogen will come out as H positive, and the other hydrogen will remain with SO4. Okay, so HSO4 negative, hydrogen sulfate ion. If both of the hydrogens will come out, then it will be only sulfate ion. Okay, so it will be 2H positive here. Okay, but the main thing is that all of the molecules will all of the molecules will dissociate into their ions completely. And nitric acid also, H will come out, and NO3 negative, which is nitrate ion. Okay, you should know the names of these ions also. Nitrate ion. So in a similar way, sulfuric acid and nitric acid molecules completely separate into ions when dissolved in water. Okay, and in this paragraph, the equation of the ethanoic acid is written, which is a weak acid. Okay, the same equation which I wrote. And the above paragraph is, when pure ethanoic acid is dissolved in water, only a small fraction of covalently bonded molecules are dissociated into hydrogen ions and ethanoate ions. Okay, so only a small fraction. Means thus an ethanoic acid solution will have far fewer hydrogen ions present in it than hydrochloric acid. Okay, so in ethanoate ion, hydrogen ions concentration is less as compared to hydrochloric acid because it partially dissociates. Not all of the molecules, only a small number of molecules are dissociated into ions. Okay, small fraction of them. And here in this paragraph, boys, above the equation, in this paragraph, the line which I highlighted, you should also highlight it. It's really important. Okay, this line. There is a relationship between H positive ion concentration, okay, means hydrogen ion concentration, acidity, and pH. The higher the hydrogen ion concentration, the higher the acidity, and the lower the pH. Did you get this line? Read it again.
Should we read?
Hmm? Yeah, did you understand this line? Like read it by yourself and tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hydrogen ion concentration is inversely proportional to the pH. Okay, I made this equation up. Okay, this is not an equation. Okay, I just wrote it like this in short form, that is inversely proportional to pH. Okay, so in case for acids only. Okay, not for alkalis. Alkalis I will we will study after this. So in acids, the H positive and pH are inversely proportional. Okay, how I made this this arrow thingy, okay, in white. You can see here that if HCl is strong acid, then its hydrogen ions concentration will be more. Okay, more H positive, obviously it will release because all of them will split. So more H positive. If more H positive, then it will be a strong acid. Okay, obviously more H positive, strong acid. Okay, its acidity will be higher. And if it's a strong acid, then its pH will be low, from 0 to 3. We know that the strong acids are in the starting of the pH. Okay, the starting pH digits 0, 1, 2, 3. The low pH is more acidic. Okay, it's a strong acid. So if its concentration is more, then its pH will be low. So this is inversely proportional. Okay, and for the weak acids will give less amount of hydrogen ions. So if there are less hydrogen ions, it's a weak acid and its pH will be higher, 4, 5, 6. Okay, did you get it? Okay, remember this thing. Okay, so it will over at 9:40, the class.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes,
Okay, just let me know, okay, when it's 9:40. Okay, strong and weak alkalis. For the alkalis also, the same thing is written, which I already explained to you. NaOH is a strong acid, so it will split into Na positive and OH negative fully. Okay, it will completely ionize. So it will give more amount of OH negative. Okay. And this is ammonia solution. NH3 is ammonia plus water. So ammonia dissolved in water forms ammonia solution. Okay. It was split into NH4 positive and OH negative, but only only a few ions present. So it will dissociate partially. Okay. Here I wrote it in orange, the equation that ammonia gas dissolved in water. When it is dissolved in water, it gives ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH. Okay. And as ammonium hydroxide is formed, it will split into NH4 positive and OH negative. Okay, so this is the ionization for strong acid, that it will fully ionize and it will partially ionize. Now there is a relationship between its alkalis ions and its pH also, but there is a direct relation, because if it's a strong alkali, then more OH ions are there, more OH ions concentration, and pH will be higher from 11 to 14. Okay, for strong alkalis, we know that their pH is at the end of the pH scale. Okay, 11, 12, 13, 14. The last four are strong alkalis. Okay, so its pH is higher. So if it has more OH ions, pH is higher. And if it is a weak alkali and OH ions are less in number, then its pH is also less, from 8 to 10. Okay, so they have a direct relation. And also, boys, tell me which one will be a strong electrolyte, like a strong alkali or weak alkali? Which will be a good electrolyte?
Strong alkali.
Yeah. Okay, strong alkali. Strong acids and strong alkalis, they conduct electricity really well. Okay, because they have more ions present. So if there are more ions, then there are more chances of the ions to move and conduct electricity. Okay, so remember this thing, that strong acids and strong alkalis, they are good conductors and they are good electrolytes. Okay, and they can be used in electrolysis. And if they are weak alkali or weak acids, then they are weak conductors, poor conductors, and they are weak electrolytes also. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, the period is up.
Yeah. Okay. So inshallah from here, page 145. Okay. And then we'll study tomorrow, inshallah, from here.
Okay, ma'am. Allah Hafiz.
Okay, beta. Allah Hafiz. Take care.